Long before satellites, long before compasses, long before anyone had ever drawn a map of the ocean, there were people who could look up at the night sky or simply feel the way a wave moved beneath their canoe and use it to find a single tiny island in the middle of the largest ocean on Earth. No instruments, no GPS, no way to call for help if they were wrong. Just the sky, the sea, and thousands of years of knowledge passed from one person to the next. This is how humans learned to cross an ocean with nothing but their senses. Picture the Pacific Ocean. It covers almost a third of the entire planet. Scattered across it are thousands of islands, some no bigger than a few kilometers wide, separated from each other by hundreds, sometimes thousands of kilometers of open water. Today, we can look at a map and see exactly where they all are. But for the earliest ocean explorers, there were no maps. There was only the horizon and the terrifying uncertainty of what lay beyond it. And yet, over thousands of years, humans didn't just cross this ocean once. They crossed it again and again, settling island after island, until people were living on some of the most remote pieces of land on Earth. Places separated from the nearest continent by more distance than most of us will ever travel in our entire lives. So how did they do it? Not through luck, through observation, generations of it, sharpened into something closer to a science than most people realize. At night, navigators memorized the paths that specific stars took as they rose and set, using them almost like signposts fixed in the sky, each one marking a direction to steer toward. During the day, when the stars were gone, they read the ocean itself. Swells, the long, slow waves that roll beneath the surface, move in consistent patterns shaped by distant winds and islands blocking their path. A trained navigator could lie down, feel the rhythm of the canoe rocking beneath him, and sense which direction the swells were coming from, sometimes even detecting an island days before it was visible. They watched birds, too. Certain seabirds fly out to fish each morning and return to land every evening, so spotting one and simply following its flight home could reveal an island long before it ever appeared on the horizon. Cloud formations often hinted land hidden underneath. Even the color of the water and the way it reflects light can quietly shift near an island's shadow. None of this was guesswork. It was a complete system of navigation, entirely memorized, entirely oral, refined and tested across countless voyages, with real lives on the line every single time. Using knowledge like this, ancient Pacific voyagers accomplished something extraordinary. Traveling in double-hulled canoes, often carrying entire families along with the plants and animals they'd need to start a new life, they deliberately sailed into open ocean, not drifting by accident, but navigating with intention toward islands they may have only heard described by other travelers. Over the course of roughly 2,000 years, their descendants would go on to settle an almost unbelievable stretch of the Pacific, from islands near Asia all the way out to some of the most isolated land on Earth. To put this in perspective, some of these voyages meant sailing further from land with no possibility of rescue than most modern sailors would ever dare attempt, even with today's technology. For a while, it seemed like this incredible skill might disappear forever. As colonization spread across the Pacific in later centuries, traditional voyaging and star-based navigation began fading out, replaced by foreign ships, foreign instruments, and foreign maps. Within a few generations, in many island communities, there was no one left alive who still held the full, unbroken chain of this ancient knowledge. But it didn't vanish completely. In the 20th century, a small number of elders and cultural practitioners who still remembered fragments of the old techniques worked to rebuild it, teaching a new generation how to read stars, swells, and birds all over again. Traditional voyaging canoes were built once more and sailed across the open Pacific using nothing but these ancient methods, proving in front of a modern world full of satellites that the old knowledge still worked exactly as it always had. Every island community scattered across thousands of kilometers of the Pacific today can trace its origins back to these voyages, to people willing to sail into open, empty ocean, trusting nothing but the sky above them and centuries of memorized knowledge passed down through their ancestors. They didn't just discover islands, they proved something about human beings that's easy to forget in a world full of GPS and satellites. That long before we had any technology to guide us, humans had already learned to read the world around them closely enough to survive it, and even conquer an ocean. No compass, no map, no way to turn back. Just the sky, the sea, and thousands of years of knowledge. And somehow, it was enough to settle a third of the planet. If stories like this fascinate you, stay subscribed, because history is full of moments where humans achieved the impossible with nothing but their minds.